Hey, Tom here from the Run Testers with another Versus. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at two shoes designed for sort of all-round training, but with the ability to go a little bit faster. That's the Hoka Mach 4 and the Brooks Levitate 5. Let's take a look. The Hoka Mach 4 costs £125 or $130, weighs in at 236 grams or 8.3 ounces, and the drop is 5mm. The Brooks Levitate 5 costs £140 or $150, weighs in at 295 grams or 10.4 ounces, and the drop is 8mm. The Hoka Mach 4 is a daily running shoe designed to feel soft and bouncy, whether used for comfortable training miles or for faster efforts. The Pro-Fi midsole aims to deliver a light and responsive feel, while the rocker helps to propel the foot forward and produce a fluid transition. Covering that midsole is a rubberized EVA outsole for additional responsiveness and protection. The upper has a thin engineered mesh design that offers a good level of breathability, and there's a removable EVA sock liner. There's also a swallowtail design on the heel, built for efficiency, that's mainly focused on heel strikers. When compared to the earlier Mach 4 shoes, it has a softer ride. The Levitate 5 is a shoe that's built for faster training sessions. There may be a moderately thick wedge of DNA amp midsole foam, but the shoe is a long way from a soft, cushioned option, instead offering a firm, responsive feel when picking up the pace. The design veers towards the more traditional, with a well-padded upper and a generous shape, although you can also pick up the Levitate 5 Stealth, which has a leaner, snugger fit. The Levitate 5 also comes in a GTS edition, which is the same design but with additional support. So the fit for me in the Hoka Mach 4 is true to size. I really enjoy wearing the shoe. I think it's very comfortable. It's a Hoka, so it is slightly narrow. So if you have wide feet, take that into consideration. But the toe box does have a bit of space in it, so there's a bit of freedom to move your feet around in that. There's also a lot of padding around the collar of the shoe, so it's quite comfortable. And the tongue itself does have this sort of nice concave design to it, so it nestles against the foot quite nicely, and I've always managed to get a nice lockdown fit in this shoe. The Brooks Levitate 5 fits true to size for me as well. It's a very conventionally designed shoe, so the upper has quite a lot of cushioning around the collar. There is a nice relaxed feel to the upper. It doesn't feel very restrictive or narrow, so there's a lot of room in it, and it fit true to size for me from the get-go. There is also, the shoe I'm holding here now is the Brooks Levitate 5 Stealth version, and that is a version that has an upper designed with this sort of elasticated knitted fit. So this is a more secure lockdown version of the normal Levitate 5, which has a more conventional upper. So both of these shoes are quite similar in the way that they are really designed to be all-rounder training shoes that veer a little bit more towards the faster training. There's a lot of marketing copy that you'll find associated with the Levitate 5, where Brooks talk about it being all about energy return and bounce and responsiveness, and that's something that the Mach 4 has as well. So both of these shoes really are designed to be versatile in the way that they can be used, but steer a little bit more towards the fact that you can do faster training in them. The big difference between these two shoes for me is the weight. Just holding them in your hands, I can feel that the Levitate is just so much more dense and heavier than the Mach 4. The Mach 4 feels incredibly light, and when you're wearing these two shoes when you're running, the Mach 4 you don't notice it on your feet. It just feels very light, and it's just a really enjoyable shoe to wear on any distance. The Levitate 5 does not feel light when you're running in it, and if you're running at a slower pace in this Levitate 5 shoe, for me that would be something at around 5:20 minute per kilometer pace. It just really feels sluggish. It feels like you're carrying something on your feet, and it even feels like with every step I'm just sort of stopping my motion. There's no nice fluid movement if you're running at a slow and steady pace. The Mach 4 feels great at a slow and steady pace. It's really enjoyable, really comfortable, and yeah, you don't really notice it on your feet. It just feels like it's helping you run and not have any issues at all. At faster paces, things really start to change. The Mach 4, when I'm running at tempo pace or interval sessions, which would be at around 4 20-minute kilometers for me, it just feels fantastic, and it's a consistent feel. It's not like it excels when you run at a faster pace. It just feels good at slower paces, and it feels equally good at faster paces. You don't really notice it, and it feels relatively responsive as well. You can just do what you like in this shoe, and it works really well. The Levitate 5, when you hit those faster paces, you start to realize what the shoe is designed for, and it becomes a lot more responsive when you're hitting those faster times, and your pace is picking up quite a bit. So the midsole that sits in this, it's a DNA amp midsole, very dense, not really designed for slow pace running. When you hit those faster paces, it sort of comes to life, and it feels a lot more bouncy. The impact seems to give it the ability to push off a lot nicer. And yeah, it works far better at those faster paced efforts, which for me would be 420 minute per kilometer. So yeah, Brooks Levitate 5 suddenly starts working when you go at a faster pace. If you're looking for bounciness and propulsive feel to a shoe, I don't think you really get it in the Mach 4. What you get is a feeling of efficiency and comfort, and just a nice turnover when you're running. It doesn't feel like you're getting amazing benefits from the shoe, but it's not necessarily what you want from an all-rounder shoe. You want a shoe that you can use for anything, and it just feels great. But it doesn't feel like it's not a mind-blowing feel. It's just a very, very nice, comfortable, enjoyable feel that just makes you feel like you can run in any way that you want. Levitate 5, if you're the kind of person that's going to run fast and you want something that's going to give you bounce at a higher pace, it does feel more noticeable when you get to those paces. It does feel a bit bouncier. It does feel like there's something in this midsole, but you have to put a lot of effort in to do that. So basically, if you wanted to get the Levitate 5, you're not going to get the benefit of it unless you really put the effort into those runs and you have those specific types of runs that you want to use it for. But when compared with a lot of other faster shoes on the market, the midsole in the Levitate 5 it doesn't give anywhere near the bounce that you're going to get from some of the faster race shoes out there, like the Zoom X that you'll find in Nike, or Asics, Asics' midsole foam. So it's not an amazing bouncy responsive shoe. It's just, in comparison to the Mach 4, that's where it excels. But really, if you're looking for a fast training shoe with a lot of bounce and propulsiveness, there are better options out there. The Levitate 5 has loads of rubber on it. The midsole straight away is really, really dense anyway. So I feel that midsole is probably going to be pretty tough and hard wearing and last a while. But there's a very thick layer of outsole rubber on the Levitate 5. And that just means that you get a lot of grip and a lot of protection for that DNA amp midsole. So when it comes to durability, I think you're going to be looking at the Levitate 5 really lasting quite a bit longer than the Mach 4. So the verdict for me on these two shoes, it's a pretty easy one actually. I think the Mach 4 is by far the superior shoe in most ways. It just delivers so much more. It's really versatile. It's an all-rounder shoe. It's enjoyable to wear regardless of what you're doing. You can put this on, leave the house, you can do a slow run, you can go and do an interval session. It's just perfect if you don't really know what you're doing. And that's the kind of shoe that I like. I like a bit of cushioning. I like the ability to go fast in it. I don't really want to think too much about my training shoes when I'm wearing them. And this does all of that. It's just a great all-rounder that just feels great for pretty much everything you're doing. And I know Nick thinks this is one of the best shoes that's been released for the past couple of years. I agree with him. I think it's a fantastic shoe and well worth looking into. I think that the kind of person that's going to benefit from this shoe is, one, somebody who likes a sort of harder midsole, doesn't like a light bouncy midsole, but wants something that has a bit of toughness to it, that you really have to hit hard to get that sort of responsiveness from. It might work for heavier people as well, because that midsole foam, you really do have to put a lot of impact in it to get the benefit from it. I don't get it unless I'm really pushing hard and running fast. So if you fit into those sort of areas, it might work for you. But again, I just think there's better shoes that can do that. I think there are also better alternatives to both of these shoes. If you're looking for an all-rounder shoe that can really handle everything from training all the way up to race day, the Saucony Endorphin Speed 2 is probably our favourite shoe over the past year, because it can just do everything. It has a full-length nylon plate, but you can use it for training days, you can use it for slower days, you can even use it all the way up to race day. It's a little bit more durable than the Hoka Mach 4. It allows you to run faster than this shoe. It's just got everything. So if you're really looking for an all-rounder that can take you from training all the way up to race day, that's a great option. Other options that you could look at would be something like the Asics Nova Blast 2. Now the Nova Blast 2 skews a little bit more towards the sort of daily training miles. There's a lot more cushioning in that shoe than you get in these shoes, so it's a little bit more conducive to doing longer, more comfortable miles, but you can still run fast in it. So if you're looking at this video and thinking, I want a versatile shoe, but I want a bit more cushioning, the Asics Nova Blast 2 may be one to look at. Another option you can look at that doesn't really compare with the Levitate 5, but if you're looking for an alternative to the Mach 4, you could possibly get the Hoka Rincon 3, which is very similar in the fit and how it feels. It's a little bit lighter, a little bit bouncier, but it's not as durable. But it's also a bit cheaper as well. So that's another option you can look at if you really want a sort of Hoka style shoe. So that's it from me. Don't forget to like and subscribe and click that little bell icon. It really does make a difference. And check out the channel for all the other videos we've got from the latest road and trail shoes, as well as headphones and running watches out at the moment. Thanks a lot for watching. See you soon.